Hello to everyone. So welcome back to this EAVI Conversations 2020. We continue. We have had in the last weeks and days very interesting conversations that on topics of parenting with Sonia Livingstone, on media literacy and disinformation with Divina Frau Meigs. We have talked about training with Elizabeth Hope, and yesterday we had a very interesting and a bit philosophical discussion with Christopher Burra. Today's guest is Aura Salla, and so again is something that is you will have noticed for the subject of our discussion, very different kind of conversations that we have from each other, including the topic. Still, the main common denominator is media literacy in its broad sense. Welcome. Thank you, Aura.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for having accepted. In fact, there are many people that would like to talk to Facebook these days. You have been in Brussels for a while. You were telling me before that you are Finnish. You consider Brussels your home, and you are the head of European affairs of Facebook.
Yes.
You have a lot of experience in European affairs because previously you work for the European Political Strategy Center, is advising the President Juncker. You have also worked in the cabinet of the Finnish Vice President Katainen, that was responsible for employment, jobs, growth. And so now you are here with us. And I think there are a number of things that I would like to talk with you about. If you agree, I would start with your main domain of expertise, that is European EU affairs and regulation. As a reminder, is the scope of this conversation that is a bit meant to be bit informal, long enough is to have really your insights, but not formal to have a lecture. Is meant to offer inspirations, ideas, reflections. So we will not go into much details about each of the aspects, but I'm sure that people could learn a lot from you. Are you happy with this approach?
I'm very happy with this approach and looking forward to our conversation.
So as a while ago, the European Commission provided this vision of on how to reform a bit or rule the digital services, and they came and they invite for opinion on what they call, they had 3 pillars, if I remember well. One is technology and people, so that the people can use, as we say in EAVI, technology to serve people and not the other way around. And then the second pillar was to more on the economy itself. The Commission and the EU, by definition, tries to put away the barriers, so to have a fair competition of European companies as well as others. And the third pillar was focusing on a democratic approach. There is a lot of debate about integrity of elections and so forth. For this, they have envisaged a few documents specifically. Is a piece of legislation, in fact, that is what they call the Digital Service Act, that indeed focus on digital services and fair competitions. And the Eurova cabinet is working on the European Digital Democracy Action Plan that indeed is related to what social media are doing, because it deals with disinformation, is the integrity of election, but also media freedom, media pluralism. And then there are other discussions that maybe we can tackle a bit. The noise about the digital tax or the rule of law and so forth. It will be interesting I mean, there's so much to say about all of this, but what is the Facebook overall approach? How do you see these inputs from the Commission? Which are your reflections about it?
Yes, thank you. Very important and very timely topic to discuss today. First, let me start by saying that myself, I'm a wholehearted European, and I want to see these digital champions to flourish from the EU. And I'm also a strong advocate of European startups and scale-ups. And I'm looking forward to seeing these companies to grow in the EU and in the European single market. So I must say that European single market is something that I would put first here. And I don't want to see more fragmented single market, because we need that for our growth, for our jobs, for our innovations, and for our future here in the EU, so that our companies can grow in this continent. And what we also need here is, of course, free trade, as free as possible. And we need our global partners to do this together. So that would be my first remark here.
That's very welcome.
And the second thing is that, of course, I recognize that I work for the American company now, but I see Facebook more as a global company, of course. And we have 480,000 users in Europe. And actually, we have, if I remember correctly, 25 million companies using our platforms here. So we are not alone, and we are here to serve our people who are using our platforms, and also companies to overcome this very difficult period that we are facing. And also we have recognized the Commission's like ambitious proposals, what comes also to Green Deal, sustainability, digitalizing market and business in Europe. And that's something where we want to help also. But coming back to your question about these proposals that we are waiting in December, most likely from the Commission. First thing about this new market proposals, competition tool, ex-ante regulation, what we might wait, what we might see, and what we are waiting as a company. One thing to address here is that we need to see this from a market's perspective, in a sense that we as a company, we work in different business areas. If you think about Facebook shops, our marketplace, or if you think about our Instagram or Facebook feeds, it's very different, and we are facing different competition. Let's say eBay would be more our competition when it comes to Facebook marketplace. But if we are looking at our feeds in Instagram and Facebook, it's more Twitter and so on. So I would like to also send a message to the European Commission to think this from market perspective and not only blacklist companies like per se Facebook or Twitter or Booking.com from Netherlands. So that's about the Digital Market Act, what we are waiting, of course.
Yeah, this is. I interrupt you for a second, and then I let you continue. It's very difficult. I mean, even I notice that although there is a broad consensus of, let's have more rules, there is also an agreement about the fact that it's very complex issue, no? Is for the things that you have mentioned is very the elements that play a role. They are very different, and I think the Commission is doing their best. Is indeed there is this economy that is important also to ensure jobs and employment, and obviously Facebook play an important role, no, in economy for all these multiplier effects that you have said. At the same time, it has to be balanced with other values and issues.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And let me be very clear here also. As a company, we welcome regulation because we really think that European decision makers and democratic decision makers should be making these rules. And here I'm coming to your next point and question about the Digital Services Act. There also, when we talk about content regulation, harmful content, illegal content, unlawful content, defining these also, it's very difficult as a private company to do that. So we are looking forward to these proposals from the Commission to define what it actually means. And we see these kind of hate speech regulation or laws even coming from Germany, France, different member states. And what it does now when member states are proposing these, it fragments the market, and it's ever more difficult to work in this market if we have different laws and different regulations. So we would very much welcome this at the EU level. I think many companies would. And also what comes to election integrity or political advertisement, I know that it's in the competence of member states what comes to elections, for example. And we are doing our utmost on every elections to making sure that our platform is working and we don't see harmful content there. However, it is very difficult when you have 27 different rules when it comes to also elections in the EU. Well, we all know that, and I think that we would like to see these things happen at the EU level. But maybe,
not only we have 27 different member states, we have 20 different languages, and when we come to terminology, as we have mentioned, is a very difficult exercise. I remember when we were doing it, trying to dealing with media literacy and media competence for Germany is a media competence as a meaning, while media literacy means something slightly different for British, and alfabetization mediatica means something again different. So it's not obvious. Is indeed I think that this to try to have a system, as you say, that is harmonized at a European level to start with, that possibly should go even beyond the Europe, and having a common terminology is something that it should be auspicable, but possibly would take some time. No, it should not be the reason why we wait to act. If we wait for the optimum, they say that good practices are optimum practices are the enemy of good ones. So we should again find the balance.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. And coming from a small country and small language area, I recognize this. And also, I'm a little bit worried when we speak about using technology here to prevent harmful and illegal content and so on. It is very important, but we also need people to do that. And I would like to emphasize that we have 35,000 people working on safety on our platforms globally at the moment. And of course, we recognize that we can always do more, and we are doing more. And just give you an example that we removed 3 million pieces of hate speech each month. So that is a lot, but of course we know that we can do it even more. And just first month, 4 months of 2020, we took 9.6 million pieces of content for hate speech down from our platforms. And
I was reading is on this report about how the code of conduct of disinformation, of which Facebook is one of the signatures, so is a voluntary, is a signature for self-regulate. Data, amazing data about the number of fake accounts that you have removed. If I remember well, it's more than the 2 billion in 3 months, something that is enormous. I mean, it's more than the inhabitants of the globe, obviously, because there are machines that I imagine that bots that create these fake accounts. But yeah, I mean, the impact and the measure that you can take is obviously is very valuable. No one could do it. Only you could take that action.
Yeah, and yeah, that's one good thing about the new technology. So nearly 90% of which hate speech that we have on online, we take it down before anyone even reports it. So that's a good thing about technology. But then, of course, there is a amount that where we need people who understand Italian or Latvian or Finnish or other languages, and we take this very seriously. So, but we are looking forward to this proposal coming from the Commission, and we are working very closely with policymakers here. And we want to be part of the solution, finding this together. So that's why also we welcome this kind of engagements where we can talk about these things and raise the awareness, because I think you made a very important point here. It's also about digital literacy, it's also about media literacy. So
can I interrupt you for a second, Aura?
Yeah.
Because I have to remember 3 points at the very beginning. I always forget one, and now I forgot to say to people that they can ask questions to the question and answer section. I also I take a point that you are making at the very beginning about is a different social media and the fact that you are competing with yourself for certain services, not or with eBay. We are for this conversation. One thing that I found out is that we are competing. For instance, when we are live now, is the people that are on Zoom. They have discovered that they can live be either on Facebook or on Zoom. But they have also discovered that they can watch these videos later on with YouTube. So it's true that it's not so obvious to understand which are the services, the benefit, and which is your market from a marketing point of view. When you say that you are mentioning about awareness, which is a very important word for us, and for us, awareness is even more important than understanding in our vision of media literacy. I get to that in a moment. I would like to go a step backwards. About regulations. Because I heard Facebook saying these days, Nick Clegg and other people, we do want regulations. We want rules. If we won't respect them, we are happy to pay sanctions. Somehow is a bit of a paradox. No, it's you that you are asking for rules so that you can, I imagine, make your decisions better and you have more certainties. Why is it? Is it true that you are asking for regulations? I mean,
Yes,
you as well as others?
yes, as I said here earlier on, we are asking for regulation and hopefully not sanctions. I hope that we can find a common solution about regulation, because let me emphasize here that we are like respecting the law in all countries. There is no question of that. But the thing is that at the moment, law is behind of this digital curve that we have been seeing for decades now. So if we think about the old e-commerce directive, it was great a couple of decades ago, but it's outdated if we are looking at it 2021. So in that sense, the DSA and DMA and the European Democracy Action Plan and what we will see on data strategy, they are very, very much welcomed by the industry that I'm representing here, because world moves on very quickly, and sometimes our laws are behind. And here I would say that we are behind. And also coming back to your point about digital services tax or digital taxation, how we want to call it, then we would like to see it at the OECD level, of course, because this is something that where we think that we should find a global solution. And if not a global solution, then at least a solution in the EU level. Because again, if countries will have separate digital taxation models, it will fragment the single market ever more. So we welcome this, but we would like to see it, of course, on the global level.
Do you think that I mean, you or social media are as you put it, you want to be part of the solution. We all were, at this say social platform, part of the problem. Do you think that you can now contribute to the solution of the problems that you have generated? I mean, realistically.
Let me first say that actually, like maturity on our platforms, it has a positive impact on people. Families during COVID pandemic, they can actually connect. And I am living in a different country where my family is, and I could not have been in direct connection with them, like if I wouldn't have WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and so on. So it's only a small part that there is, like, let's say, harmful content or very, very, very like even we can see crimes, but we see that also in offline world. We need to remember that. And of course, we want to keep our platform safe and healthy and supportive for digital communities. That is our aim, and it has always been. And connecting the world and giving people the way of expressing themselves and voice for those people who didn't have voice before. And so that's first and foremost our platform's aim, of course. And let me also say here that when you talk about entrepreneurs, startups, small companies, business around Europe at the moment, and during COVID-19 pandemic and very difficult period for our economy in the EU, our platforms could and they can provide solutions doing their business online on our platforms, also in a small scale, and small company from Latvia, Romania can reach global markets, and it is one of the kind. So there are plenty of good things also what comes from social media. So I don't want us to forget that.
People like to focus on negative aspects, no? But I think no one would like to go back 10 years in time. It's true that is and imagine a world without these services. It would be much poorer. Is a world in a way. At the same time, these utopian or these hopes that start together with the internet of connecting people, and probably this was truly the spirit that services like Facebook no, have been built for, and the reason why they were successful is now is it true that maybe you have grown a bit too big, and therefore is yeah, even for you internally is difficult to to deal with all of this? Is because is from my perspective, I yeah, no, it's noticeable that somehow you are doing your best to tackle all these issues. But maybe you cannot do it when you have 2 billion clients in all over the world, and that there are so many issues that play a role, values, freedom of expression, and as you say, harmful content or illegal fact-checking, disinformation, is it working, not? No, is it? Are you too big? Is the solution that you should be smaller?
I would challenge that approach that you are taking. There is crime, as I said, offline also, and not everyone has good attentions, right? Same thing online and same thing on our platforms. But if you are looking at the numbers and figures and how many people are using our platform, it's only a minority. It's a small fraction of users and messages that are on our platform that are harmful or illegal. And we are working on that 24/7 and to making and keeping our platform safe. And the most parts, they are actually safe, and they support many good things. So I would not forget that. So yes, I agree with you that people tend to focus on negative things, but working in Facebook now half a year, I have actually grown to really admire the company and how much it's willing to change. And I could not embrace enough my colleagues who are great globally and working on these issues. And also giving voice to people, as I said, and supporting sustainability, circular economy, helping small companies, bringing families together. I would focus here much more than this small fragmentation of more difficult and challenging issues.
In the end, is you are a private company, don't you? So it is legitimate. I mean, your objective is to make money. But how much money is enough money? You are earning something like, I mean, Facebook is 100 million euro per day, something like that. I mean, is a bit banal to put it in this way, but no, and then when there is the implication of shareholders and the I mean, how much bigger can a business hope to become? Is it still the objective? Because your role and responsibility is not, but is a question to educate people or to have people acquiring new skills. This is for other stakeholders to do, isn't it? Or you recognize that you can contribute to that?
Actually, let me correct you maybe a little bit there, because you might have seen Mark Zuckerberg's interviews when he started the company, and during years that the company has been growing, the aim has always been connecting the world and giving people voice and supporting freedom of expression, building communities. And this is still something that this company is aiming to do and is doing actually every day. And we recognize that we have a responsibility to also support many of important goals in Paris Agreement, or bringing sustainability everywhere in the globe, because we actually have an opportunity to do that. We have impact on people, and people have impact on us as a company, because we are people-driven company, and we want to serve people on our platforms and companies on our platforms. And yes, we are a private company, and I'm a strong believer of free market economy. And I hope that we can see more companies like Facebook growing also in Europe and giving these opportunities to companies like Booking.com, Spotify, YouTube, or Skype to grow in Europe, or Nokia, because coming from Finland, of course, I need to advocate one of the digital champions also from my continent. But that's where Europe needs to step up its game and make sure that single market is the place to be and grow and scale up, and not only the United States or other continents in the world.
There is this thing that we have launched that we call EAVI test, in which we ask very simple questions that have a factual answer. And one of them is how many European companies are, of internet companies are in the first 20 in the world. And there is none. So that this must be no, they are all from America or from China. It must be a point of reflection for European institutions as well, and whether you should then compete to become in the first 20, or we should be happy not to be as Europeans in the first 20 because we have to compromise to the market somehow. Although, of course, I'm too a believer of a market, free market, and economy is the system that has proven to be the best alternative so far. The system has been degenerated is for certain aspects, and I think is welcome, as you say, is that the Commission and Europe is taking action on that, and I think it will be a win-win situation. Everybody will benefit, including the customers, the people. EAVI is a civil society organization, so it's our responsibility somehow to promote the interest of people. There will be a lot to say is about privacy, data, etc., with good and bad things about it. We don't have much time to have that the discussion, but the attention economy. What I would like to know from you is whether you regard customers, your clients, also in their full capacity of citizen, is not in the limiting is a frame of a customer that has rights and obligations, obviously, but the citizen as a person he has much more ample interest. Is it something that you discuss in Facebook? There is the issue or the word that comes often about trust. We want trust from our customers. Do you ever discuss about ethics? Do you have ethical guidelines? How do you decide what is right and wrong to focus on?
Yes, absolutely. We have our community standards that every user of our platforms can read, and we have a responsibility to make sure that our users are happy and they want to use our platforms. And we can see that we have many happy users, obviously, because we are still growing in numbers of users, for example, in Europe. And but we also have a responsibility that people know what is okay to do on our platforms and what is not. So that's why we have community standards, and everyone can read those. So what is okay to post on our platforms and what is not. And yes, they are our ethical guidelines also for our different platforms.
We were discussing briefly this with Christopher Bull yesterday, which, by the way, is the first one that I have met in a while that has not a Facebook account is about the definition of what ethic mean and digital well-being that is associated to it. Now we have to recognize that it is the landscape, the media landscape has evolved quite considerably since I don't know, 10 years ago, for instance, but continuously, in fact, I notice my kids that there is a 2 years difference between each other, and they have a completely different experience with the media. And now most of people, or a good statistics show that a lot of people that they get their news and information from social media. So you have an important role in that, no? Or somehow responsibility is there is a lot of discussion about how to moderate media content. Obviously, it is linked also to what we have mentioned already. Can you tell us something about this magic word of transparency and accountability that everybody is mentioning as a way that social media could contribute to people and other companies and stakeholders benefit?
Yeah, let me first say that when people say that they kids or teenagers or anyone else takes news from our platforms, there are different things what comes to this. So if you have BBC or CNN's link on our platform, and then it is an objective media that they get their news from. So that's why actually we have designed this new, like a news feed to our to Facebook. So actually people can go there and they can get their news from let's say Le Monde or BBC. So also we are negotiating with publishers from different member states how we can contribute to their efforts to providing objective news and then using our platforms to spread this news. But let me also make it very clear that we are not a publisher ourselves and we are not media ourselves, because we are not editing anything that is on our platforms. We can label them, we can take them down if it goes against our community standards, but we are not editing, and that separates us from media. But we really must embrace like quality journalism, and that's why we are working every day with publishers from different member states in the EU also, because we recognize our role here and how important it is that our children and all of us get news from quality journalists in the EU.
Is yeah, there is some responsibility of the users, no? I mean, you cannot check everything that is posted. And this is linked to what we do here, is that now is acquiring competencies to be a more responsible user, no, to skills so that you can use the media well. Is how important is that part? Is you think media literacy and so that people acquire these skills?
Yeah, actually here I would like to thank many of our partners also. When it comes to media literacy and digital literacy, we have teamed up with different authorities, European Commission, different universities, Yale University, UNESCO Institute, European Youth Forum, and SchoolNets, and so on and so forth, to actually understand better where we need to put more efforts when it comes to digital literacy and media literacy. We of course do our trainings and we give our advices, but we need to team up here, and we do so. So our partners are crucial here for us. And of course, we always welcome more partners to cooperate with us. But we recognize that, of course, people also have the responsibility of recognizing facts and understanding like how valuable our some of our news agencies are, because there is a difference between different news sources. And without recognizing that and a critical and an ability to have a critical media reading skills also, it is very difficult in today's world to recognize what is newsworthy, what are the facts, and also like when you use our platforms, where the news sources actually come from.
Before we come to the questions that people would like they are asking actually, what is, may I ask you, is just a personal, what would you like to see happening in a bit from a society point of view, or from is in the next 2-3 years or 5, which is your I don't know, ideal outcome? Is something that you hope for, that you see, okay, this is really, that would be good to see happening?
Well, if you ask me personally, I'm a strong advocate of sustainability and also circular economy, because this is something that why I also like using myself, our platforms, and this is not an advertisement, but recognizing the importance of climate change and what we need to do for our environment, also in the EU. I would like to use new technologies and see them as an opportunity, and also platforms like Facebook, so that everyone can actually adopt this mindset that how we use our raw materials, how we design things, how we consume things, and how we actually like how we do our everyday work and life, that we recognize that we need to work for our environment and take the challenges that climate change is bringing in front of us seriously. And here I can see so many influencers and new businesses, new technologies using our platforms so innovatively that I don't even like. It astonishes me how innovative and like how new ways people can think doing their business. So that's something that I would like to.
I see that this excites you, and that's nice to see. Is the and this is it could be very much in line as a comparison with as we say, living with the media or media literacy, is the aspect of the environment. To take care of the environment, we should also take care of the digital environment somehow, and the two things, I think they can go together. And indeed, we need more, as far as I am concerned, and media literacy is to advocate and to find influencer for that approach. And in that respect, to fight towards a common goal is, and this, I think, it should be the attitude and the first to raise that awareness that you were mentioning about, so that the people and the policymakers, therefore, they will be more willing to take action, and so we are absolutely on the same page of this.
Absolutely. And one thing that I would like to also say here is that how we behave and how we talk to each other, and like respecting each other's opinions, and having respectful conversations online and offline. It is very important. I know that this anonymous, like you can post something without giving your name or your face. It can be attempting to some extent, but also I think in civilized societies and having like these democracies that we have in the EU, it is value itself, and we should embrace it and not forget how to behave online and offline.
It's a magnificent word that you mentioned about respect, and the knowledge that there are other people around us, we should join forces. I mean, it should be such an obvious concept, but it's not for certain reason. And but I mean, ineluctably, I had a friend that was saying, we are bound to be successful. Bound to be successful. It's not a friend, it was a course that I was following. It's just that we have to shorten the time and is as much as we can, because we can do a lot already now. Aura, if you agree, I have very long questions here. I try to summarize. Shall I have a go? So one is asking from Marie-Laure, Facebook has reduced its number of human moderators drastically during 2020. And apparently you have tried unsuccessfully to replace them with artificial intelligence. What does Facebook, I mean, if you have failed, so what do you think that, I mean, what are you doing in order to have more protection of minors in Europe? I don't know if you got the question on me, I'm not very clear, but possibly you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just say here also that our technologies are more advanced than they were a couple of years ago. So in that sense, like algorithm technologies and also like finding nuances and like signs of misbehavior, let's put it that way, on our platforms. It has come a long way in a couple of years only. So I share the worry if you don't have like people and humans behind the screen to some extent, but also let me say that technology is more advanced than it was. And also actually we have increased the number of people who actually work on safety on our platforms one way or another. So as I mentioned, we have over 35,000 people on safety, and I see that this figure is rather increasing than decreasing. But also we welcome very much new technologies helping us.
Yeah, I was last year at the BBC. They were illustrating the use that they made necessarily of technology is increasing, and that you can do so many wonderful things. Obviously, is beyond the technology and algorithms. There is a human being and willingness. So is and inputs. So that's what is very important. Again, another big debate about machine learning from machines and so forth, artificial intelligence. We are not going to do that now. I invite people for the future to ask short questions, because this is super long. I started from not from the beginning, but is why are people in the Philippines working as cleaners and not people who understand the language and culture? So essentially, is if I interpret well the question, in the different countries, you have people that remove, say, fake accounts, but they are not necessarily knowledgeable about the specific culture. Is it the case or not? I don't know whether you have this information. Are people from the Philippines that take out fake accounts that are posted to the Philippines from Philippines? And so for each country, I mean, I assume you have to know the language. to start
Yes,
with?
exactly. So you actually need to know the language, and normally, more or less, it goes hand in hand. That if you know the language, you know at least to some extent about the culture. So yes, we use contractors and people who actually speak the language. So if you speak Finnish language, you most likely know something about also Finnish culture. So yes, short answer to this long question.
This is a bit more provocative. Why is Facebook not respecting GDPR in, for instance, WhatsApp is using the phone numbers of one contacts without even asking them if they would agree?
We are respecting GDPR, and on WhatsApp, if you share your phone number, it's of course not WhatsApp who does that. So WhatsApp is not sharing your phone number to anyone. It's up to you if you share your phone number with someone.
Yeah, I have other questions, but I will skip. In fact, we may be forward to you, and later on we can reply to those. But we are coming to the end of this very enjoyable conversation. Thank you, Aura, for this. I hope we'll meet soon in person. We are not well. Now you say that you are in Finland. It's not so easy, but when you come back in Brussels. Is there something, a message that you would like to add before we conclude, or something that people can take with them?
Yeah, let me just maybe emphasize my message here that Facebook is really here, finding ways to cooperate with European companies, and we want to serve European customs, but not only customs, we are here for people. And that is actually goal of this company, building these communities and bringing people together. And let me say, as a wholehearted European, also our platform is doing its utmost to actually support sustainable economic growth and sustainability in the EU. And as you can see, as a person, I'm really committed to fighting against climate change and bigger issues what comes to our environment. And our platforms are actually very good tools for that. So let's work on that together, because I think our environment is everyone's duty, so to say. And we are here also to engage and listen. That's why I'm here today. And my team and our team members in all member states, Facebook is not here only to communicate one way. We really want to hear you, and that's why we wanted to have these questions and this conversation today. And I hope that we can continue this in different platforms, but also different concepts.
Thank you. It's something that I've noticed is this open approach of Facebook, and indeed I think is that's the way to also to learn each other and to know each other, to respect each other, as you say before. So thank you, Aura. It was really nice. I also thank our participants here and there. And the Laura that is beyond the screen as well. To find out who is beyond the screen is the main challenge of the media literacy. And also Matisse, Fabio, the Soti, Gulsen, Andrew, and so forth. We are back next week with 3 more interviews. I really enjoy this one-to-one interview, because it's when we are at a panel, there is never the time to really to know somebody ideas well. And so if I remember well, next week we start with Renate Schroeder of the European Federation of Journalists. We'll talk more about quality journalism and media literacy. And then we have Professor Tapio Varis, that is Finnish, by the way, that will talk about more utopian aspects of global humanism, together with Professor Tornero. And we also have on the 11th of November, which is a public holiday in Belgium, but we will keep working. Caris that will tell us about media coach and training. And then we go on is the week after that, but 1 week at a time. Thank you very much.